Hi, it's Tara. I couldn't sleep last night. I had a really rough night after going out all day and being in the sun. For some reason, even though I was like really sleepy, I couldn't stay asleep and I wasn't really refreshed. So I decided, you know what, why not? Whilst I'm awake, I might as well just come and do some perfume reviews. Why not? So anyways, in continuation, last time I did a bunch of videos regarding transition from summer to fall. I thought I would just bring out more fall type perfumes that I'm looking forward to wearing right now. And I think one of the last things that we stopped off on was a musk video. And I mentioned like kitten fur musk. I found this musk. This is one of my favorite musk, and it's kind of like a ambery, super warm, fluffy musk that is kind of like cozy, like kitten's fur too. And it's called Shermine, and it's from the same company as the other one that had an iris note and was slightly fruity. That one was called Naive Iris. This one is called Shermine. This has a Citron d'Argentine Fourrure Iris. I think that's orris butter, maybe. I don't know. And Bois de Gaillac, which is like a nice, like cozy wood, like a dark wood. And let me show you what it looks like. This is a really awesome, intimate skin musk with a soft, airy, like amber benzoin touch. So benzoin makes everything like airy and ambery. So benzoin is actually I call it amber vanilla, airy amber vanilla. That's what it is to me. Airy amber vanilla, slightly smoky, yeah, but not heavy. You know what I mean? This is a super light one. So Shermine, really gorgeous. I bought this on sale from Lucky Scents in California. So for everyone who might be looking for a place where you can order like niche fragrances, hard to find fragrances, foreign fragrances, and still be able to sample them. They're not free. I mean, of course, they have to hand make these samples. So yeah, you have to pay for a little bit for the their cost, you know, their labor cost and everything like that. But they sell like samples for between like $3 to $6 or something, depending on how expensive the perfume actually is or how sought after it is. And yeah, if you're scared of buying, like spending hundreds of dollars to blind buy like a perfume bottle that you don't have anywhere near your house and you're not going to be able to find it except online, I would highly recommend that, you know, you look into this. So this is like, I think Lucky Perfumes or Lucky Scents, California. I'll have it linked down below, but that's one of my go-to places to sample perfumes. But that's where I got it from. So this is Shermine. It was on sale. So I think the thing with this guy, Huitieme Art, his name is Pierre Guillaume. For all of you that don't know, he's a famous like Parisian, more avant-garde type perfumer, and he makes a lot of these really cool formulations. So this one I think might be sold out in the US, or you know, it might be hard to find. I was able to snag this at a really good price. But anyways, if you really want to smell like cozy, intimate, this is not a blasting. It doesn't rise much out of your skin, but you smell good, okay? So this, if you want to smell like cozy and musky, try this out or sample this. It's probably not for those people that really like to have loud perfumes. Speaking of loud, let us contrast that soft kitten fur perfume with this. And this is the Santel Royale. Yeah, so Santal Royale is from the now slightly reformulated or repackaged Guerlain line. I fortunately got this before all the old ones sold out. This is kind of like the opposite of that uncomplicated, soft, fluffy skin musk. This is like, Santal is supposed to be like sandalwood, but I really don't smell. It's it's kind of predominantly like oudi, very medicinal, very spicy, leathery. I think it's only at the back end that you smell like kind of like some type of sandalwood, and I think there might be some peach or something in here. It's kind of a bit lost in all the other stuff. But the thing about this is if you can just like bear with the first 50 minutes or something like that, where all that heavy stuff kind of wears off, you would be rewarded with a really nice, like complicated and sophisticated scent at the end. For a lot of people, this might not be worth the journey, but maybe for people that likes more complex perfumes and can bear with the medicinal, bitter and powerful beginning, then the end might be worth it to some people. I really don't wear this a lot because I sometimes just dig it out just when I want something a little bit more complicated and I'm not planning on being very social that whole day, you know what I mean? Or I'll wear it in the morning and do chores and everything like that, where I won't be, my mind won't be preoccupied with smelling this. So it'll drive me through the chores and everything like that. And then sort of like later on when it mellows out, then I'll be joining people maybe at dinner or something, and it wouldn't be a big deal. So anyways, I mean, when you're kind of like a collector and you have a big collection, you kind of have to spread out because there's only so many fruity, vanilla, and gourmand perfumes that you can have before you kind of get sick of them. So this is like one of my challenging ones. You always have to have a challenging one every once in a while to, so you don't get bored. But anyways, speaking of getting bored, for fall, that's like my amber time. And this will never be boring to me. And this is the Calvin Klein's Obsession. This is like the old formula from back in the 70s, and this is the woman's one, the Eau de Parfum spray. I got this in the tiny, like 1 ouncer, just because, I don't anticipate that I'll ever be using up this whole bottle. Every once in a while, when I really want to feel like a gorgeous amber, well-balanced, but then very strong, and I love the composition. Like I said, it's very well balanced. One of the things that I smell in here, because I'm Chinese, and Chinese people eat this, really like to have, well, especially in southern China. I can't speak for all of China. We have this really precious, like, food called, it's like tangerine peel. We call it chun pei. So basically, we take some tangerines or mandarins, and we dry them. I think there might be a specific type of mandarin with a lot of aromatics in the skin, the rind, and we dry them, and then they last forever. And when we make like a little bit of desserts, we don't like things too sweet, but we like things aromatic, and we will toss a tiny piece of the dried mandarin rind in there, and that's what it smells like. It smells like sharp, slightly sharp, and citric, and just it melds in totally well with the amber, and with, I think there might be leather in here or something like that, but whatever they put in here, it's like a masterful blend, and this is something that I never want to be without. When you see this beautiful, rich amber with the light shining through it, that's kind of how I envision this. You know what I mean? It's like a slightly herbal, it's slightly ambery, it's slightly leathery. It's like all of those things, and you can smell all the different layers. This is really nice. This is back when they really bothered to compose, you know what I mean? Instead of just having like 1 or 2 or 3 note like perfumes like they do nowadays. So this one is an oldie, but a total classic, and I'm never going to be without this. And speaking about goodie and oldie and ambery, this one, Gucci No. 3, Balsamic Beauty. Yeah, so this is like a soapy balsamic amber, and well, it's not as ambery, it's kind of more florally. It's like an oriental, but it's not spicy. It's kind of like woody and balsamic and slightly soapy. So the soapy floral aldehydic goodness, it's like really rounded in this. This is like really amazing. If they can reformulate this again, I would really love it. I would also love to buy the shower gel and moisturizer and everything. And I don't generally use the moisturizer and shower gels except for perfume that I really love, like Shalimar, Coco Chanel, Chanel No. 5 maybe. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, so this one is discontinued, sadly, but if anybody can dig a bottle out, you know what I mean, from the 80s, then I would cherish this. Don't sell it. I mean, I hardly think anybody really even remembers this, but in my wildest dreams, I did not realize that, this would somehow, when I was young, I didn't realize that this would somehow be like discontinued. Now we know better. But anyways, it's super cool. If you ever have a chance to try this, I think you would be privileged. But anyways, speaking about ambers, this one I don't think has been discontinued, and I think a lot of people hate this. This is like a very polarizing scent. Used to is like a really oldie, and used to be like a shower oil, I think. And this one is another this one is a spicy soapy amber. So unlike this, this is not that spicy. This is more leathery. This is more like, has, I think, myrrh in it because it smells a little bit more fruity. Yeah, so it's got a fruity, soapy, like ambric background. I used to hate this like with a passion, but one time I was able to break through that barrier, and ever since that time, and recognize the beauty of this. I don't know how. All of these I've had to conquer barriers to appreciate, you know what I mean? So I think like that one time was enough for me to find one note in here that I got obsessed with. And I told myself, you know what, even though I might not wear this on a daily basis, I mean, God knows I might even just wear this 3 or 4 times a year total, I would still want this in my collection. So that's the mentality of a collector. You want that one obsession note in here. Like even one note is enough for me to have this in my collection and not want to let it go, because I have not smelled that one note better, or one note like anywhere else, that makes me want to like give this up, you know what I mean? And the thing is, sometimes you don't even smell it, the same note that you're seeking all the time when you wear it, but the chance of getting that one note back that you're obsessed with is enough for you to get it and collect it. So, that's like obsession for you. You know what I mean? That's the type of collector's mentality that I have. So that's why I can't say that all of my opinions are recommendations, because I do know many people are not going to like some of that stuff that I recommend. So just take it as an entertainment purposes. One thing that I do find that is really a lot of people seem to like is this. So this is a very likable, wearable amber, and this is the Cote Bastide Ambre. This is the Huile de Bain, which is bath oil. Okay, so this is like a fresh, sort of like citrus essential oil. I think maybe it has bergamot, and it's something in it is really well blended with the amber. So it's like well balanced, it's fresh, it's polite, and you know what I mean? It smells high class. This smells like you went to the French Riviera. This is what it is. And I think this is Cote Bastide might have some associations with that. I don't know if this is still around, but they sell the perfume of this. I just happen to like the oil because it's in this cool bottle, and also because the oil is really mellow. You know what I mean? I don't slather this all over my body. I bought this like many years ago. I just put a little dab here and there, or sometimes I just smell it out of a bottle just to refresh myself. So this has some sort of citrus, like either mandarin or bergamot or something that is, you know, balancing this. This is kind of like a golden mellow amber. This is what I think. So if you don't like challenging ambers, or let's just say you just want some amber to like scent your house, try this formula. This one is, I think, also available in crystals that you can, you know, scent and put in a bowl and to scent your house with. This type of scent in the fall with a fireplace going is just magnificent. It makes your house smell like such an oasis, a cozy oasis. And it's also kind of like reminiscent of like libraries, you know, with a roaring fire and like a cashmere throws to throw over your knees and a leather armchair kind of feel. I really love this. It's like golden, just like the bottle. See how beautiful that is? Okay, so speaking of, let's see. Oh, you know what? Let's do a musk. Okay, so last time when I was doing my musk, I featured mostly easygoing musk. But this is like a less easygoing musk, although it is also very wearable and beautiful. I would not wear this musk on a hot day because it might kill someone. It's not animalic in a way, but you know that musk where it kind of like fills your nose up to the point where you almost feel like you want to sneeze? It kind of has that feel to it. So this is called Fleur de Peau, and this means flower of the skin. So basically musk and skin are, of course, like, you know, always connected, because musk is something that people exude from their glands and skin. All mammals do this, you know, it's kind of like pheromonic. This is kind of like an iris musk. Yes. So it's kind of like not too powdery iris. It's like the clean parts of the iris. It's kind of like, what do you call it? A winter fall iris. This is kind of like the iris of high sophistication. You know what I mean? You kind of took all the fluffy powderiness out of it, and you substitute the powdery part with like a musk that's kind of like slightly pushy and edgy. So in a way, it's like a mixture of floral and musk together in a way that is both clean but not and edgy. You know what I mean? To me, this is kind of like slightly leathery, but it's not dirty, but it's also not a pushover. It's kind of like a pushy, edgy musk. So what I like to do with this is I like to scent some cashmere shawls, you know, those big Hermes shawls or big shawls where people, they just like tie a big knot and they loop it like 3 times around their neck because they're so big. It smells amazing on that. And also on like crisp white shirts with like leather jackets or something a little, this is floral, but it's also leathery and edgy. So it's kind of like a woman riding a motorcycle, but it's not like a dusty motorcycle. It's like a high tech, like one where she's like very sleek and just prowling through a tunnel or something. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes when I wear this, I feel like I'm a spy, you know what I mean, or a secret agent or something like that. I don't know how I come up with these images, but this is kind of like your out of the ordinary type of musk and iris. I also really love this, and I have the skin cream for this as well. Okay, so now that you think I'm probably crazy, let me come to you with this. So this is a really controversial, but probably less controversial than the youth do. because back then when this first came out, this was not reviled. This is actually one of those really, really popular perfumes. And this is the infamous red. This was made by the same people that brought you Giorgio Beverly Hills. Like, that is like the quintessential 80s white floral bombastic. But it's bombastic, but it's also really harmonious. I think it's very bright, rich, fills a room. It's not, I thought it was actually a really, really good perfume. I have that too, but that's not something that I would necessarily want to wear in the fall. Although the strength of it would suggest that you might want to wear it on not too hot days. But anyways, this one is like a muric amber. It's fruity. It maybe have plums and peach or something in here. So it's spicy, Coca-Colic, you know, which is where the myrrh comes from. So this smells to me like a fruity, rich, like kind of Coca-Cola vibe with amber background. So this is, yeah, fruity, very, and a slightly spicy. I think it's like cinnamony, and yeah, so this is like really cool. I mean, this is like your wacky kind of out there scent, especially now. It's not what I would call like well behaved. I think this is maybe red, like it says. It's like an exuberant 80s Cyndi Lauper type, you know, vibe. You know what I mean? Like someone who's like carefree, although it is quite powerful. And back then, this was probably like a power perfume, you know, like the suit wearing like shoulder pads wearing power perfume. But I think these days this requires someone with like devil may care attitude, you know, kind of diva-ish, and yeah, so who appreciates like a full-bodied but also kind of fun and, you know, fruity perfume that's not gourmand like they have nowadays. Yeah, so for a blast from the past, or for people curious, this is like pretty cool. You know, I really like the composition of this, and I bought this for nostalgia's sake, but I'll be wearing this, you know, more than once a year. I'll be wearing this more than youth do, let's just put it this way. It's more exuberant. It's not as heavy. It's bright and substantial, but yet kind of slightly wacky. You know what I mean? So, okay, what else do we have? Oh, we have like a serious one here. So I got this also along at the same place, Lucky Scents. And, you know, every once in a while they'll have a sale, and then you'll find all these like exotic, like some obscure, not well-known brands that are usually very expensive will be having like some sort of sales, or maybe the Lucky Scents is no longer going to carry it because it wasn't like a big seller. And just because it wasn't a big seller doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad perfume. It just means that, you know, the market is very saturated. And if you just type one note in like iris, you'll get 300 something entries just from Lucky Scents, you know, their own database. So yeah, so I frequently go onto that page just to see if there's any like delights that I'm kind of missing, and I can get it for a good price. So this is Paris Monte Carlo, and this is called Cacao Aztec. So basically this is actually like a super dry type of earthy, spicy, floral green perfume. It says cacao, which is, you know, you'd be expecting like chocolate or some sort of earthy, dusty, like cacao vibes. And it does slightly have that, but it also has like tuberose and orchid and some green notes and some spice notes, that kind of, and leather notes and rum, that kind of like just let's just say cacao is not the star of this. So when people hear cacao, they just go gaga, and they're expecting like, you know, coconut. I mean, they're expecting chocolatey type vibes or something more gourmand. This is not sweet at all. This is like a serious dry leather rum herbal. You know what I mean? It's not too challenging. It's not blasting your face. You know what I mean? It's actually kind of low to the skin. And that's, I think a lot of people don't like that. They said that a lot of people actually like the composition, although it doesn't have that as much cacao as they would like. But they don't like how low it is. To me, that is no big deal. You know what I mean? I like low perfumes. I like Perris in particular because I feel like this brand, a lot of their perfumes are very subtle and they're high quality, but they're kind of close to the skin. And to me, I don't mind it. I'm like, I have a very sensitive nose and I do get allergies. I'm allergic to like tree pollen and like other dust and stuff like that. So I don't mind a low smelling perfume. Also, due to having some consideration to my coworkers, I'm not going to wear like a blasting your face cologne. So this is okay for me. I'm glad I got this on sale. I mean, I don't know if I can necessarily like recommend it, but if you have a chance to try it, why not? For people that like dry, spicy rum and greenish type florals, yeah, give it a try. Okay, so this one is kind of out there. This is very strong. So I don't wear this except like during the winter or in the fall transition during those crisp nights. This is Slow Explosions, like a really awesome combination of a lot of disparate, what some may think are disparate notes, but this is like really nice in this formulation. So this has saffron, rose absolute, and definitely this is a very jammy rose. And you do smell leather. Yes, you do smell apple. Apple is very, it's very forward. So the rose absolute and the apple kind of like, they kind of like blast in your face a little bit. And it also has, you know, night market smell, whatever that is. I should imagine night market smell or something is kind of like a gritty industrial type of ozonic air, maybe, because it does smell slightly ozonic and slightly smoky. So this is like an apple, a fruity leather with saffron and rose. So yes, and musk. So this one is a very, very long lasting. So if you don't like fruit forward roses, then don't bother. But if you like something a little bit like more unusual, this might be one for you. This lasts all freaking day. Like the rose and apple are very, very prevalent. So yeah, take it with you will. I really like this house. They have a lot of like interesting compositions. Not all of them are that successful, but they're at least interesting. You know what I mean? So give this niche house a try. This is called Imaginary Authors, and they package their stuff really beautifully in this kind of, it's like a book format, you know what I mean? Like when you put it on the shelf, you see the spine of the book, and it's like that. So I really love their packaging. It's so beautifully executed. And then also inside the package, I think there's also like a sample of their other perfumes too. So I think that is a really nice touch. Speaking of fall, yeesh. Okay, if you can't stand all those heavy perfumes and you just have to wash it away, wash your palette, then you might want to give this like a try. This is by Juliet Has a Gun, and I know this is this is called Not a Perfume. So I really like this because basically it's kind of like the Another 13 but cheaper that I told you about. This is like a dose of ambroxan that makes you smell clean and nice. body scent, like you're healthy and, you know, refreshed and everything. So this is for when you can't stand all these heavy, like, musk and ambers and anything anymore. This is not a perfume. So yeah, there's that. But no, since this is like a video that is about fall and heavier perfumes, we must like continue. We just took a slight break right there with that. So for everyone who can't stand like stinky perfumes and they need to have a little bit of sweetness and powderiness to their amber, I have this Van Cleef and Arpel Ambra Imperial. So Van Cleef and Arpel are very smart. They know the taste of these modern people. Modern people are very sweet seeking. So this is a very, it's like a sweetie, fluffy amber. It's not too spicy. It's not dark. This is like eminently wearable, very feminine. You know what I mean? It's not serious. It's mood lifting. You know what I mean? It just looks serious in this big, like, dark bottle, but it really isn't. So if you can't stand any of these other ambers, but you want like a nice, fluffy, modern amber that's kind of sweet and powdery and easy wearing, this is one of it. Okay, this is also not blasting your face. It doesn't have hidden stinky notes in it. Not challenging whatsoever. This entire line is not challenging whatsoever, and it's also very geared towards making previously stuffy notes like iris and all these other stuff, making them user friendly too, and classy. Van Cleef and Arpel is a very classy, highfalutin, high glamour, very prestigious jewelry place. So they would know. Okay, just putting it out there. Okay, so on a fruity, friendlier note, we have this. I generally don't like most of the Jo Malone stuff because I think like some of their stuff is, I can barely smell it, but this one is really good for fall. So this one is also one of my favorites for fall. I busted out. So this is Blackberry and Bay Cologne. So this isn't your typical fruity gourmand. Like, you know, generally when you think blackberry, and I feel like the berries family have been like abused a little bit by all the gourmands, because I know a lot of the younger celebrities, they feature berries very heavily in their gourmands to the point where people just start associating berries with that type of young, sweet perfumes. But this is kind of, you know, the opposite. This is like a very elegant one because of the bay. So bay leaves are used in cooking, and they're kind of like a dry, this is not a juicy berry. This is like a dry herbal blackberry. The blackberry, it's like a blackberry bush. With all the leaves and twigs and earthiness, and not so much the actual berry. It's not berry candy. So the blackberry you smell are like kind of like the more aromatic parts of it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like elegant, slightly dark purple, and then you have the dark green saginess of the bay leaf. It's slightly bitter. It's more green than you think. So this is not sweet. This is slightly bitter, okay, and herbal, but very elegant. I really like this for fall. It's on the crisp side. So this is good for both men and women. It's slightly, the bay side is more leaning towards masculine in a crisp, sort of like bitter herbal type way. Very good. Let's see what else we have. Okay, well, I can do these two together. So as you know, I'm really a big fan of pine smelling fir, you know what I mean? So I love this candle. This is from Thymes. This is called Frazier Fir. And I think the Frazier Fir are the more expensive, like more heavily needled and densely needled, like Christmas trees. Smells like really beautiful. So, I mean, if you want to have a stocking stuffer, this was also $32, so, you know, it's not going to break the bank. But, you know, these make the best, like, Christmas stocking stuffers and stuff. They're good for men and women, because I think men do like candles too, you know what I mean? But maybe they don't like it too sweet and fluffy and stuff, like, so this might be really good to have with a guy, to scent their whole house to smell like Christmas. Like, even after, or, you know, like before they get their Christmas tree, they might, you know, be jonesing for this type of scent. I would get this. Yeah, this is like really, really delicious and deep. But if you want to smell piney, but not necessarily like exactly like a Christmas tree, but more as if you were camping out in the woods, I have this DS and Durga cologne. So this says eau de parfum, but it's not that long lasting. I really think because their stuff is very natural smelling. It really feels like they went out into the wilderness and gathered a bunch of pine needles and pine cones and stuff and put it in here. This is like really magnificent. I really love this. This is like you're camping outside in the wilderness, seriously, and the sun is shining down on you and you smell the earth and you smell the pine needles, and it's just outstanding. Outstandingly realistic, okay? It's not the longest lasting, but you know what? For a masterpiece, you kind of have to pay. You know, that's the price you pay. For natural smelling stuff don't last forever. We all know what makes things last forever is fixatives and base. Those base are really rich and they just don't smell like they belong in nature. You know what I mean? They smell really artificial and perfume, like, you know what I mean? Sort of. So that doesn't really match this type of cologne. This perfume is like one of my favorites. This kind of like clears my head. So, you know, if you feel like the fall or whatever is just too cozy, you need to sneak out and get some fresh air, you want to have air blowing out of the forest, this is what you want to get. This will make you have like camping nostalgia or something. Okay, so that was like really good for both men and women, but I think a lot of guys would like that. This one, on the other hand, is like ultra feminine. So this is my handy dandy little lipstick size atomizer where you pull out this. This is like Chanel No. 5, and this is the Parfum, not the Eau de Parfum. And this is really hard to find. I don't even know if they make this anymore, but I had to go to like Neiman Marcus to buy this like many years ago. And I have another backup because, and I use it so sparingly. First of all, because I do have the Eau de Parfum and I have the Eau de Toilette, I have the Low, so I don't have to use this all the time. But I do have to say that this perfume is on a different level than those other ones. The rose and florals actually smells really deep and round. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's been diluted by a bunch of alcohol and fillers and another bunch of notes. So this is both deeper and rounder than the other ones in terms of the florals. The florals and the other ones can be kind of like harsh, you know what I mean? In a powdery way, like a smothering you way, whereas this one is not. This is more natural smelling. It's also still powdery, but like I said, it's rounder and sweeter in a natural way. So it's kind of worth it. Back then, this cost like $95, and it was like a lot of money. So that's why I kept it like this. But every now, once in a while, I bust this out so I can smell the true essence. You know what I mean? Because Chanel, I think, they get their florals from the south of France, Grasse, and it kind of smells like natural, like it just came from off the fields or something. So another one that is really a must-have for fall for me is this Bottega Veneta not, oh, absolute. And this is like, if you love myrrh, like an amber, this is it. This is like a powerful orange blossom, spicy amber with myrrh, lots of myrrh. Myrrh is like, smells like spicy Coca-Cola to me, you know what I mean? So it's like orange florals, orange flowers, myrrh, and amber. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. This is really concentrated, so one spritz is all you need. It smells slightly smoky too, you know what I mean? It also smells like very substantial and solid. The regular knot smells like orange Pez to me, you know what I mean? The orange blossom and the amber in that smells like Pez. So it's not that sweet, but yeah, really good. Another one that is kind of obscure, I don't even know if they have it anymore, is this Encens Ginhe. This is from Atelier Cologne, and this is one of their line that is not like a real cologne. This is more of like an absolute perfume. So Encens is incense in French, but this is like a cherry incense. This is cherry blossoms and incense together. So I think it's very, very nice. Floral, kind of rosy with cherries and cherry wood, cherry blossom, and like a dryish type of Japanese incense. This is very nice with amber. A lot of people probably don't know about it. And I think most cherry blossom scents are very ephemeral. So there's not a lot of cherry blossom and incense scents out there. So if you want to give this a try, check it out. Encens Ginhe. Okay. What else do I have? This video is getting kind of long. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's wrap it up. I have like, okay, two things. If you know, another thing that I like, this is more on the vein of the Chanel No. 5, is this Calèche. So Calèche is a really nice floral. I call it a lady floral. It's one of those 80s Hermes perfumes from the 80s where it's like a whole bunch of white florals meshed together with a slightly amber background. This is very soft, super, super soft, very 80s white floral. It's kind of quiet. It's not, you know, too in your face, but it's very beautiful for fall. Just a little drop or so is good. This one is the Soie de Parfum, which I think is like a light version. It's like, smells very silky and, you know, delicate and sort of like white floral from the 80s. Back then, the flowers cannot be really distinguished. So when they make the accords with all the white florals together, they kind of mesh into like a whole, like, what do you call it? Conglomeration. So all I can say is 80s white floral. And amber. This is what it smells like. It's actually kind of bright, not as powdery as and assertive as what do you call it? Chanel No. 5, but in that vein. Very nice. Okay, so from something very traditional or perfumey to something entirely different and not perfumey in like a much different like way is Nila Vermeer Creations, and this is the one that I've been trying to trot out for you. This is Mohair. So Mohair is, this is like a translucent spicy saffron rose, really jammy, slightly spicy, and yeah, it's a fruity, rosy, saffrony creation. It's really, really, really nice. Indian. Nila Vermeer is Indian, and this is, yeah, her Mohair, her beautiful saffron rose. I love that because it's like different from other roses, you know what I mean? It's not your rose oud or rose vanilla or anything like that. It is like a translucent saffron water with rose and like I think slightly fruity, maybe appley. Here's another one that blends like powerful musk with rose, and this is called Rose of No Man's Land by Byredo. I was gonna sell this because it was just something in it was just driving me crazy, but I'm glad I didn't because I might have had to buy it back. This is not a straightforward rose. This is like the iris, like right here in Fleur de Peau. I finally realized what it was in this that was kind of like not as easy as I thought. So just like the iris in here is kind of made edgy by the musk, the Rose of No Man's Land is kind of like that in that vein. So it takes rose and it gives it like a in-your-face kind of fusty musk that kind of pushes up your nose to where you're not that comfortable with it. And that's why, you know, it's like that. But in the fall, I think this would be like a really good rose to have just because it's not in the same vein as the other roses. It does have something slightly different in it. It makes the rose smell different. It doesn't smell as floral, you know what I mean? Just because the musk is like just pushing in your face, slightly edgier than that. It's not a dark rose though. I mean, it's just kind of like a pushy rose musk. I don't know. Okay, so I'm almost done. Thank you for putting up with me. I have these other two that I'm just absolutely super wanting to get into now that it's fall. This is Chergui, a hay tobacco, chocolatey, rosy scent. This smells like really rich and cozy. It's slightly thick in texture. And then I have this Volute. Volute is slightly more transparent because this is Eau de Toilette version. This is out of discontinued, but I still love it. I like the Eau de Toilette better than the Eau de Parfum because it's thinner and more translucent, and I can smell the hay, I can smell the honey, and all of these other cool, like this also has a big iris note in here. I didn't realize how big the iris note was in this. So if you like tobacco, iris, hay, and all of this stuff together, give Volute a try. This is absolutely unusual and super cozy, but it's also like a fall scent. It's not something that you can overspray. Last but not least are the Zoologist. If we're talking about fall, that means sandalwood season, and I have this elephant, the original elephant. I don't know if they redid this. The Zoologist notorious for redoing like formulas. So if you like the formula that they have now, just buy it right away, the full bottle, before they just sell out, because that happened to me. But anyways, this is like a tropical, like green, herbal jungle, like sandalwood, slightly floral perfume. This is really nice and rich and green. So if you like sandalwood and you like it with a little bit of greenness, check this out. It's really outstanding. So thank you for watching the whole thing, and I will be back with more perfumes. I think I'm just going to do my whole perfume line, and this will be kind of like an archive, you know what I mean, for when I'm old and I want to go back and have some memories. You know, I don't even know if my perfume would survive like all these old years, so I might as well do these videos when I have a chance and life hasn't interfered, so I can have a memory of all the good things that I had before. Thank you for sharing with me. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.